I had a fantastic 7-week trip this year. Here are a few highlights.
Yeah, I said, action, action, where's the camera? There he is. He's coming out. Always put some water on. You know, waters are great. Nice soak. A beautiful nugget. And it's going to clean up nicely.
Welcome to Prospecting 101 for gold nuggets in Australia. G'day, I want to help you find big gold nuggets too.
We have some of the best firewood in the world out here. Yeah, some of these logs and some of these stumps, they've been curing for hundreds of years. So to start a fire is very simple. Throw a bit of wood together, and you know, some people they use diesel. I don't like the smell of diesel, but this is what my good friends Pete and the professor put me on to.
Warm up. Come on. I just smoking the bed.
Woo!
That is warm.
Now it's what, $7-8. Give it a little bit of a splash. Doesn't take much. Going on 3 weeks, and you can see I use very little. So give it a splash, light a match, and there you go. You know, you don't have to stuff around with newspaper, diesel, and for God's sake, don't use petrol. You know, you have an accident with petrol out here, you're in big trouble. You know, it's safe and it's very effective.
Okay, let's pick up where we left off. We have just finished the curly tree patch.
This patch we've called Curly Tree. You can see why. It's officially done and dusted. So this definitely is the last night at the big patch. I was here for a week and I got one little piece. She's turned off the tap. Try somewhere new. There's lots of places to see and not much time. Before you know it, it'll be 40 degrees. You don't want to hit that. It's like a bag of snakes.
I ran over something like that once, and by the time I stopped, it had tangled up in my brakes and springs. It took me hours to cut loose.
So remember the old commando mission?
Commando mission. Always hide your tracks and camp.
My commando sweep's not the best, but they expect a bit of rain the next day or two, so. Okay, here we are back at the road, and I showed you commando the other day, and I said a little bit of rain. Look, see, you can't even see. This just looks like I went down that way. Okay, what am I doing now? Well, I've got the new Detector Map app. Trying to have a go with it. Here's something of interest. Here I am now, and this little icon here. Click on it. It's in the soils geochemistry. So we're looking at 20 ppb here. It's about 350 meters away. It's telling me that there's gold here, 20 ppb. Well, let's go have a look. So it's put me in some pretty good country. I mean, this is where it all begins. Quartz and ironstone. So I've got to go 350 meters in that direction. But yeah, it was a bit hard to get in here. Turn around a few times, do a few loops to try to work out what was going on. So have a bit of a swing. Supposed to be some thunderstorms today. So the country looks very promising. So here's my new camp. I try to keep it pretty tight because I'm only here for a few days. Fridge, kitchen. Give it a couple days and give it a fair test. What's this for in the bush? We're going to build something? No, I use this so I can get my truck level. But you mark where your tires are, the middle of your tire. You pull forward and you just dig out. You put the dirt underneath the truck. You can see. Check it across long ways and across the back and dig it out so your swag's nice and level. Nothing worse than waking up sleeping downhill and you wake up with a crick in your neck or your back hurts. It's very important to get a good night's sleep. Last night was the first night I needed my sleeping bag. So starting to cool down.
News flash. You can click my little prospector in the lower right-hand corner to instantly subscribe to my channel. There's no obligation whatsoever. It just helps me to help you.
Here's the second day. This was the 20 ppb and here's my camp. So I've done a couple big walks. This is all pretty mountainous. Lots of ironstone reefs, very rough. I like this walk. This walk here was very inspiring. Most of this country here is just heavy ironstone and some quartz, but this ground here seemed to be the most likely. Lots of broken country, a good mix of ironstone, quartz, well-rounded. You know, it just seemed to me like this was patch country. So I'll try to do big loops for here and try to get that first piece. Okay, so I did one more walk, one more big walk yesterday, and I gave this target a fair test. You know, I walked in the creeks, I walked around the best ground, back and forth, so it didn't happen. What am I doing now? Going down the road. I've gone back through. This was an area that I was in last year. This was a 250 ppt, so this is parts per trillion. You know, it's a very minimal result, but still, against the background of zero, it was elevated. This was another target from my research, and you may recall about 3 years ago when I was chasing it, there was a patch there somebody else had found, so I was too late. So there's a strike of gold here. It looks like I'm camped right on it, or just off it. The ground looks very good. Quartz ironstone, and I know there's gold in the area. So let's see if we can find some gold here. It feels like gold here. You know, there's a lot of geology going on. And you know, it looks likely. So it's got a nice look to it. Nice mix, quartz irons, about 50-50. And I like that orange. It's got like an orange tint to the soil. Okay, all set up. It's a pretty good camp. You got to try to find, between shade. Of course, you need sun. You need sun to run your camp, but you need to have a bit of shade. I've raked the rocks. It takes me about 5 minutes just so I can walk without tripping over big rocks. So that's what I do all day, walk on rocks. So I've been out for 3 weeks tomorrow, and well, I haven't found much gold, just 3 little pieces. It's a beautiful morning, nice and fresh. The gold price just came on the radio. It's $5,189 an ounce. Used all my bread up, so I made myself my pancakes. Put a couple on the grill for my breakfast. Stick them on the grill, freshen them up. And a bit of Vegemite, peanut butter, honey, whatever. And keep you going.
Spot gold is trading at 5,340 Aussie dollars an ounce.
Better find some today. Okay, so I've been here 2 days and done a few walk-arounds. Here's a fault. I found some old dry belows here. We'll go have a look at these. And I also found the old boys camp, a few tins. But I thought, okay, let's have a look at this satellite. And just bring it out a little bit. It just seemed like this country was broken here. The gold seemed to be on this edge here, just as broken country. So, went for another walk. And yep, I got a piece. Got a little piece here. It's got a bit of ironstone in it. So yeah, that's my first piece.
Eureka! I've just found the first piece of gold in a new area. That's right, this is the start of something great. So please come back and follow my journey. You'll have almost as much fun as I did. If you appreciate my efforts, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. The more popular a video, the more YouTube's algorithms show it to others. Thanks and cheerio, P101.